two of the biggest stars of our film. This is Fahadi Chidiowa, also known as B-Boy Sky. This is Gesa Eric, also known as B-Boy Full Moon. Producer on the project, David Jacobson. And obviously the man that needs no introduction, NAS himself.
Thank you. Adam, let's start with you. We're gonna pass the mic around. One mic. Sorry, I'm gonna make NAS references. Start with the impetus of Shake the Dust. Why you decided you wanted to make a film about the global b-boy movement.
When I started working on this project, I wanted to do two things. I wanted to empower youth in underserved areas to be able to be the people telling the story, and I wanted to talk about the history of hip hop in places where it hadn't been told before. So the big thing for me was, where can I go in the world where hip hop is reached and no one else has told that story before? So going to places like Yemen, where there's been, when we see Yemen, we see it on the news. We see it because of terrorism and Al Qaeda and ISIS and the government falling apart. And those stories are so important to be told, but I wanted to try and tell another side of that story. And to me, it's just an incredible thing that hip hop can reach a place like that. It can have the power that it has in those communities.
Mr. Jones, Nasir, Nas, one of the greatest of all time. Tell us what spoke to you about this film and why you wanted to become involved with it.
Adam's bravery. I thought he was, a lot of people are into the music and into what it's about, it coming from New York and the Bronx and that story, but, his love for it to me was beyond just the average, the average fan of music. It was like, I felt his passion the way my passion is for the culture. I felt like Adam's the same way. And, he risked his life shooting this film. And I admire the bravery and the genius of you guys, too. I just thought what he did was really honorable. And I felt like I risked my life for this culture, too. And so I just, I could relate. And I thought it was an important story to tell.
David, earlier Adam mentioned that you came on to this project and you bled with him, you bled over it with him. Your last film, you guys may have heard of it was called Lee Daniels, The Butler. Can you talk about the difference in working on a film like that and a film, an independent documentary like this, in terms of the scale and the different challenges involved, and also how Nas compares as a co-producer with the Weinstein brothers?
Great questions, all great questions. Well, first of all, every film that deserves to get made is oftentimes difficult to get made, right? Films are difficult to get made, so this is testament to Adam for getting on a plane, for putting it on a credit card, for getting this started, right? And it's always a challenge, and so your job as a producer is oftentimes to put that in the best context that you can in the marketplace and to surround it by the best support that you can. And I just want to, pay tribute to the support that we've had in our executive producers, our financiers that are here tonight, Ryan Millsap and Sean Tabibian and Jordan and Michael Gomez and Wynn and Lindy Galloway. Thank you guys so much, because that's how this film gets made. So it was about begging people for help, and I remember telling Adam at a certain point through this process, I feel like my job is driving up and down Sunset Boulevard begging people for favors, because that's independent film, right? And it's a different process, but it's no less meritorious, or it's no less ambitious. Certainly, we're standing on the stage here with Nasir Jones, for instance. So it's a big global effort, and this story merits that. So it was, it's a similar process that we've all seen in making these films, but it's just a little bit more challenging and requires more creativity about how you get it done.
Eric and Fahad, tell us why it was important for you guys to participate in this film.
Thank you, Fahad. Thank you, everyone. I think it was important to participate in this film because I wanted my voice to be spread everywhere. I wanted everyone to know my story, to know what I go through in my daily life, what people in Uganda live. How can I bring it, Fahad?
So for me, it was so important. Shake the Dust as a documentary. To really just, it's not just a documentary, but it's just the life, how people really live. And this is so important, you know, to get someone's life to put in the movie. And it's not just a movie, it's our lives that we're really putting to people to know that. So this is not only Uganda, but Yemen, Cambodia, Colombia. I pay much respect to all the people and to all the countries which don't know about like this is happening. And I know Shake the Dash is gonna go beyond and gonna be worldwide. And it's gonna be spreading all over the years and the years because it's so much powerful and these stories have never been told before. And it's so inspiring that Adam came up and NAS and everyone who just made this to be like this is happening, you know. And I was scared to share my stories because sometimes it feels so darkness to myself and I think to some of the people who have same stories like ours. But this is really honor and to be here and to represent hip hop. It's a powerful thing for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I also want to thank Adam who came down to Uganda to start this because we didn't have this idea in our minds to share our stories to talk about ourselves. But when Adam came down in Kampala, we pictured everything in a different way. We started to see why we break dance, because we just went to this center or youth center called Shari Youth Center where we practice from. We just go there every Monday and Wednesday, just practicing. We don't know why we practice. We don't know what we have. But when Adam came down, we started talking, expressing our stories to him, telling him what we go through, and we started knowing ourselves, the way we live, we started knowing what hip hop is, because we didn't know hip hop before Adam came. Thank you, Adam.
Yes. Well, Adam, tell us. I mean, you trotted around the globe to make this film. Tell us how you discovered all the various crews involved, and also what your shooting schedule was like in terms of all the travel involved.
Oh man, that's a long story. YouTube was a big part of how I researched. I mean, at the very, very beginning, in 2008, I saw a little video clip of a b-boy in Kampala breakdancing, and I was like, I have to make a movie about this. And then I went to Uganda, I met Eric and Fahad, I filmed a whole bunch, we started making a movie. And then like a year after that, I was showing Abrams Techa from Uganda, from Breakdance Project Uganda, a clip, and he was like, that's Eric, right? And I was like, that kid? That's Eric? And so, I mean, it's interesting because I didn't seek that kid out when I was there, and he ended up being sort of the star of the movie. He's the guy on the poster. So that's Eric Agesa, B-Boy Full Moon. It was organic, it was research, it was meeting people, it was just, when I first started making this movie, it was going to be Mumbai and Rio de Janeiro, and it just made sense to go where the story led me, and it led me to the places that ended up being in the movie. So it worked out. I have to mention that I tried on several occasions to film in Gaza City with a number of b-boys called Camp Breakers, who, I don't know if you noticed at the end of the credits, we dedicated the film to, because I was actually arrested or picked up by the Egyptian military in Gaza trying to tell her story, and it ultimately it came down to timing that we weren't able to do it. But to me, the film is not just all these b-boys and b-girls from Cambodia, Uganda, Yemen, and Colombia are representing a whole bunch of other people that aren't in this movie. Camp Breakers included, but so many around the world who are working within their community to impact them positively and to create social change. So,
well, I feel like I need to go to Bogota, Colombia again just to see that little girl, Tamise, breakdance some more. How crazy was that girl? She's incredible. Nas, between the Mike Tyson documentary, Tyson and Shake the Dust, and a documentary that you were the subject of recently called Time is Illmatic, you've almost carved out an entirely new niche within the documentary filmmaking world. Tell us what you enjoy about documentaries and also what you hope people take from this movie.
I think they like visual books. You know, you can reading is number one, but if you're not in the mood for it, you know, I grew up, you know, my pops used to make me watch PBS, and a lot of stuff I learned about, you know, before my time, like artists like Jackie Wilson. I didn't know anything about him and the Teenagers and Why Do Fools Fall in Love. I thought the Jacksons was it, the Jackson 5, and then I started learning, you know, watching the way they would tell these stories in film. Was like a book, but it's, you know, you can watch it. So I love documentaries since a kid. So it was only right that, you know, at one point I get into getting behind documentaries and telling stories on my own. So I'm happy that this one came, you know, under my radar, and it's just the right story, the right message, and you know, once I saw these two cats doing their thing and telling their story, you guys are hip hop. We just do it. I do it through music, and you guys telling your story up there was like a real song. You know, it was like it's beautiful to watch because you inform us of what's going on over there, and it just opens our heads up. So, you know, documentaries just do that kind of thing. You can see the people. Reading your book would be great. I'm sure you could write a great book, but watching your emotion as you're telling your story is just, it touches you, you know what I'm saying? Watching you guys tell your story, what got me emotional. It's just like, it just had my heart beating for you guys. So, you know, so documentaries are that powerful. So that's what it is.
And how did you two respond when you heard that Nas was involved in this movie?
First, I thought it's not true. Second, I thought it's impossible. And third, it's a lie. It can't happen. But, you know, yeah.
Yeah, for me, first, when I had Nas on board, that made me go research who Nas is, you know? I knew him, but I didn't know him better than I do right now. Yeah, because I went back on YouTube asking people about Nas, my mentor, Abram Stacher, the founder of Breakdance Project Uganda. I asked him about Nas. He told me everything. We shared a lot, and I was so happy that he was on board, and I was discussing with Fahad. Word.
Real quick, so much, well, like in Uganda, there's no proper internet. And some of the people we hear, like some of, like Crazy Legs. I ever heard about Crazy Legs, but I never seen, like right now I've seen him, but I never seen him before. You know, doing this and you never seen this person. So I ever had Nas, but I never seen him. I never saw his poster, his picture, but you hear this person who is so inspiring. So you also continue believing that. So they say like Nas is changing the world, Nas is changing the hip hop. So I be in Uganda, I don't know Nas. I do what I do, but I still believe. So I used to have that belief, but now I know him.
I wanted to finish and take the mic. Yeah, back in Uganda, people think, when we grow up, you know, the culture, we grow up listening to Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj. That's not proper hip hop. When I was talking to Abrams, he took me back to the basics. Knowing NAS made me know Cannabis. You know, all those people, the legends, Notorious B.I.G. I mean, everyone. Oh my God, it made me know what hip hop is right now.
Shout out to Nicki Minaj.
And real hip hop. David, tell us what you were most surprised to learn throughout the process of making this film.
I mean, this film is kind of about surprise. At the end of the day, it's about being surprised by what these communities are able to accomplish with the tools that they're born with and with the tools that they develop for themselves with hip-hop and music and breaking in particular. And I was just so surprised by this entire world that Adam illuminated, and particularly it was just how mature and developed and nuanced their perspective was on all these issues that the film tried to tackle, right, in terms of you know, intellectual and mental poverty and what that looks like and what that means and where that comes from and how that can be addressed. The fact that we're getting preached to and taught and educated by these youth in each of these different communities, I was not expecting, right? And I was not that knowledgeable, I was not that informed when I was that age, and nor would I expect, because of where I come from, my perspective, better or worse, for those people in those communities to have that perspective. So I was shocked by that, and I appreciate that, and it's an honor to share that with the rest of the world, because I think we could all do well by learning to that.
Eric and Fahad, can you guys talk about the current state of Uganda and the challenges that you guys face there, not only economically, but in terms of breakdance and not being a traditional art form in your country?
Oh, thank you, Fahad. The challenges that I face me as a dancer right now, as a break dancer, is first, my parents. My dad has asthma. My mom is mentally sick. So me as a dancer, I'm 20 years old. I'm so sorry, I have to go back. I'm 20 years old, and I'm the one supporting my family right now. I'm the one paying for rent. I'm the one buying food with my big sister. So that, to me, that affects me so much, because I need to look for a job. I need to look for something to do to get money to support my family. My brother, my sisters, they all don't have what to eat, what to do. I'm the one supporting because I'm the big brother. So that affects me so much as a dancer. I don't get time to go practice. I don't get time to do anything as a dancer to make my fellow dancers share with them. I just need to find something to do for my family. That's first. Second, when I reach, the breaking scene in Uganda is really low, because we don't have facilities, we don't have many things as breakers, we don't have headgears, we don't have knee pads. So and where we dance in Uganda, we dance on concrete. So it also affects us, because we don't get much time to do it because of the flow, because of the gears, because of everything. So that affects me so much. That's a big challenge to me as a dancer.
Thank you. I'm gonna really start with something you just mentioned. Also about where we practice from, like we pay. It's a youth center, and it's like everything should be free. But again, we have to pay for the space we use, and we use only just outside the veranda, and we pay that. We pay the rent, and again, we teach breakdance free of charge. Like Monday and Wednesday, people all over the community come and then they learn free of charge. Like they learn graffiti, they learn MCing for free. And again, our project is not funded too much. And again, also people don't respect it so much, because they think like these are like gangsters, drug addicts, as they just mentioned. But right now we're just changing the world. We're just changing Uganda. And last time I had a performance, and I was dancing, and just the Prime Minister came out when I was just breakdancing, doing my thing, and he's just like stopped the bodyguards. It's like, wow, that's really some cool shit, man. Thank you so much. And so all these government officials are really appreciating breakdance now in Uganda. And another challenge. Forgot, man. It's just
Thank you. Adam, can you tell us where people can see Shake the Dust beyond the Chinese this week?
So we're going to be at the Chinese for the next week. So tell everyone that you know to come watch the movie here at the Chinese Theater. It's a beautiful space to be able to see the film. And then it's going to be on iTunes May 19th, and then you can come to our website shakethedust.org to be able to see additional showings which are happening all summer long. So.